Hey y'all, it's the multifaceted mom, and I'm back with another video. We're getting serious today. We're gonna get serious because something's weighing heavy on my heart, and I think that it's time that we acknowledge it. I really want to talk about family, dysfunctional family. Now, if you're like me, you have been going to therapy for a while. You've been trying to navigate fixing your flaws, really understanding who you are, why you're the way you are, really understanding, your trauma, and really just identifying what's going on in your body. And the healthier you become, the more unhealthy everybody else looks. Now, this is a hard one to deal with, and that's why I'm talking more slowly, because it's heavy. Family is a heavy subject, and I've been wanting to talk about this for a while because I have been trying to figure out how to navigate it myself. So the video that I'm going to make today isn't about what you should do, but I'm going to tell you what's been helping me navigate through my healing journey, and pretty much understanding that, some things are kind of fucked up. The normal is not normal. And when you start to put your actual glasses on and see things for what they are, honey, it's hard. So let's get into it. So I have my phone because I want to make sure that I'm not going off the rails, because, I don't want to treat this like a therapy session. My session is always on Monday, at 8 o'clock. But I just want to stay on topic. So I feel like over the last 4 years, I've seen a pattern of unhealthy family dynamics. And the thing was, I'm a part of it. I was a part of it until I started to go to therapy, started to actually heal, really, really focus on my self-development, because therapy is only one part of it, but I feel like it's extremely important to spend time by yourself. It's extremely important to listen to or watch, read self-help books, listen to podcasts. Focus on your own mental health. And when you focus on your mental health, nobody goes with you. So mentally, something that I have discovered is that you can be more mentally and emotionally mature than the people that raise you. And it's only because you took the time to actually process your feelings, actually learn how to communicate, learn the issues and your communication skills. And when you get to a point of healing where you have outgrown the people who you looked up to, that's a tough one. Let's start there. Outgrowing the people who raised you, the people who you looked up to, who you felt like knew everything, and you actually realize they don't know shit. And they've really been operating out of their own trauma and just kind of labeling it as the truth. And it's really not the truth. For example, somebody that says, all men not shit. No, babes. All men that you pick aren't shit. And you need to observe those patterns. So instead of letting that be your truth, you start to kind of identify that, through your own healing, you're realizing that everybody else has certain patterns too. The only difference is that you decided to go and actually deal with your patterns and explore your patterns. Yeah. And through this self-healing journey, I also recognizing, and I feel like a lot of you guys resonate with this. You realize that there's a lot of people who don't like you. Like, you realize what genuine love is and when genuine love is not. Because a lot of times we just think that our family members love us because they're family, but deep down they actually really don't like you, babes. They don't like who you are. They don't accept who you are. They want you to fit inside of a bubble that they are comfortable with, but they don't accept the authentic you. And sometimes the authentic you makes them uncomfortable because the pattern that you guys have had in this family dynamic has been nobody can really be themselves. So everybody is pretty much miserable in their own way. That's a harsh reality. I think I've also realized that when family members don't like you, listen to your gut. And this is my main point in making this video, because one thing I've been going through, and I feel like a lot of people have, because I've seen it on TikTok, seen it on YouTube, you realize that your biggest haters, your biggest enemies are the people that's closest to you. And you feel crazy because these are people who you've grown up with for a very long time, all your life, and you like, that makes no sense. And now your world is shaken up because things just don't make sense at all. But I think a situation that has to really help me start listening to my gut when it comes to understanding if family likes you or if people don't like you, when you start seeing those sly hater comments, that weird jealousy energy. Now, granted, jealousy is a natural emotion, but it takes a strong person to use their jealousy to feel them being better, not use their jealousy to try to put you down in different ways, whether it's in a passive aggressive way, whether it's, aggressively or bully type shit. We just don't do that anymore. And when you take yourself out of situations where you are not the unhealthy person anymore, you're healing, you're realizing like, dang, I don't want to be this mean girl anymore. How can I stop being judgmental? How can I stop being sarcastic? How can I stop being, a smart ass or a bitch to people? How can I stop, being angry and jealous and envy? How can I break that pattern? When you break that pattern, the people who you grew up with and who, in so many words, condition you to be that way, you start to feel uncomfortable where you grew up. And when people don't like you in your most authentic self, that's uncomfortable. And a situation that really helped me listen to my gut was my ex-mother-in-law. I quite literally always felt like she was jealous. It was giving weird energy. It was giving, I was also very codependent, very enmeshed in my own mom. So it was very much enmeshment with her as well. And I think that I got close even though I knew she was who she was. I knew who she was as a person, and I still got extremely close with her. I got vulnerable with her. I told her a lot of my business, even though she might text me and say, oh, I love you, daughter-in-law, da, 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 you're so beautiful, and you just raising these great kids, blah, blah, blah. Babe, the moment that the divorce started to happen and I was serious, and I think she might have realized, like, oh, no, this is actually over. That's when she showed her true colors after 5 years of me feeling deep down inside that she had jealousy issues. She would do weird shit. Like, if I said, oh, yeah, me and, my ex are thinking about going to Paris or going here. Oh, yeah, I'm planning a trip to Ireland. Babe, you never even been to Chicago. But I'm not going to judge you because I do hope you take that trip. But if I'm saying, oh, yeah, I'm about to start this t-shirt business, I'm showing you the t-shirts. Oh, yeah, me and my homegirl, we starting a t-shirt business too. Babe, how? How do we just have the same idea? Like, it's just a little weird energy type of things that I picked up on but never acted on it. I always ignored my gut feeling. So now that has situation and the whole blow up of that has made me really, and I mean, it was a blow up, y'all. I mean, she told me everything she felt about me. She told me, I mean, it was a lot of mean stuff that I was like, wow, you've been feeling like this for the whole 5 years? And just a week ago, you were telling me how you were just so grateful I was your daughter-in-law. It's very weird energy. And the thing is, I always felt in my heart that what it was. And now I'm starting to really be extremely sensitive in my discernment for other people not liking me. And in the most recent situation, a family member, a very close family member, was saying some very disrespectful, rude things to me on my journey to move to Houston. And I was like, I don't think you actually like me, honey. Like, and that's okay. You don't have to like me, but let's call a spade a spade. And while I am exploring the fact that this person doesn't like me, and I'm like, they're making extremely rude comments, mean comments, talking down on me, pretty much shitting on my life, every type of opportunity they have, but disguising it in the form of, oh no, I'm just joking. And then other people enable that and gaslight you. It's like, oh, you're being too sensitive. That's just how he is. No, you're not being too sensitive. If anybody is like me and been in this situation, y'all know what I'm talking about. People will gaslight you and tell you that you're the problem and not the person that's being extremely mean. And then when you snap on a person, then you're the angry one. That's what I've experienced a lot. And it's important to really just listen to your gut. And that's really my whole point in this video, and why I think to help some of you guys that's been helping me, or something that's been helping me that I think will help you guys, is understanding that you can't confront an abuser. You cannot confront a toxic person. You cannot confront dysfunctional family. Do not confront them. Take the information, observe it, and move on. I'm not saying cut them off. I mean, if that's your prerogative. I mean, I didn't cut my dad off and I have no problem. I'm not looking back. But the thing is, take the actions that you see, and don't, once you point it out one time, that's it. If you see it again and you see it again and somebody is constantly gaslighting you and you feel deep down that this is a person who doesn't like you, they're jealous, they have issues, they're low-key your biggest hater, take those feelings and that's it. Take those feelings and act on them. Because in the past, and I'm talking to myself here, in the past, I would go to the person that is abusing or hurting me and pretty much try to get them to understand that they're abusing and hurting me. Babe, it's not gonna work. It's just not. And when you come to that realization that nobody has to validate you except for your damn self, it's going to make your life so much more peaceful. And I'm still struggling with this. Do not get me wrong. I'm good with certain people where I'm like, this is how I'm going to move on you and that's it, that's all. But those people that are extremely close, it's hard. It is hard to take the feelings that you have, believe in your gut, because your gut is enough. What you see is enough. I also want to spread that message. You are enough for you, okay? Any gut feeling, any opinion, any discomfort is enough. You do not have to have the other person tell you that, yeah, I've been mistreating you. And I'm sorry, I do it because of this, and it. No, they're unhealthy. They haven't went and did the work on themselves. It doesn't mean that they can't do the work on themselves, but they actively choose to ignore their issues. And let me just take a sip. They actively choose to ignore the issues that they have Or they might be extremely oblivious and think that this is normal. In a dysfunctional family, a lot of things that are very dysfunctional and unhealthy are normal. So you are the only person that's the weirdo, babe. You're the only weirdo in your family. And when you start to come to that conclusion that, wow, I am the weirdo here. I am the person that everybody's looking at me that like I'm the problem because I want to express my emotions. Because I want to actually talk about the conflict instead of sweeping under the rug. I am the problem because I want to do things in a healthy way and everybody else wants to move on. Because what's the point in talking about it? Even though it blows up later. That's the thing. When you start to observe, and this is the last thing, when you start to observe that you're the only healthy one that's actively working on your issues, and you're the one that's the pattern breaker, the generational breaker of a certain type of pattern or dysfunctional dynamic, you have to be okay with walking alone. And that is where I am. I'm in that transition. I've recognized that there's a lot of dysfunction. Let's call a spade a spade. I recognize that I have a dysfunctional family. I recognize that people are okay with being who they are. I recognize that there are a lot of good in dysfunctional people. Because essentially, you are not your trauma. But your patterns that you've built up, some people don't want to get rid of them. And that's okay. That's where boundaries come in. And I really just want, going into, this holiday season, and really just into the new year, for you to understand and just be a boss ass bitch in your own life, and really think about the fact that nobody is going to validate the experiences that they give you. They're not, unless they're a healthy person. But your experience of whatever you have dealt with is enough. It's enough, babes. But that's all today. I just want to come on here today and tell you that you are enough. Do not feel like you need to be validated by anybody, especially abusers and toxic people. If they don't like you, babe, move on. It's okay. Nobody has to like you. Just recognize it and move accordingly. That's all.